Can you come up? Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can get up there. Come on, you can get up there. No? What? You're okay. What? Yeah. Hopefully today we'll tell that when her actual pinpointed gestation will be.
I would think, this jump from the sort of baseline 1,000 up to the 4,000
Okay.
is probably implantation, and then I don't.
Well, that's what she said that was implantation.
Yeah.
Today at the Wild Center, we are going to have Dr. Nate Theobald come, and we're going to ultrasound our youngest North American river otter, Scarlett. Now, we sent off some samples of her progesterone level so that we could see when she actually implanted, because we saw breeding behavior between our males and her. And according to the Oregon lab, she has implanted on October 31st. So gestation period being anywhere from 60 days to 73 days. So today being day 58, we're gonna ultrasound her to see if we can actually see if she has pups. And what we do with Scarlett is she has been trained to go into a half tunnel. So she goes into a half tunnel. We tell her to hold as I'm feeding her her diet, and she will hold, and we have a little hole, a little peephole that we can access our hand to. We don't have free contact with them because they do bite, and they have a very severe bite. So we have this big enough hole for our hand and the wand of the ultrasound machine to go in there. And we're gonna put some alcohol on her so that we have better contact. And he's going to just gently sweep over her fur. Now, otters have a very heavy undercoat as well as an overcoat. So it might take a little bit to get that alcohol soaked through so that we can actually get down to her skin and actually get a good view of what we're looking for, which would be the pups.
Even though the team wasn't able to get Scarlett into the exam tunnel to ultrasound, they still continue to make plans for the upcoming possibilities.
Oh, I have noticed, okay, so she looks thicker.
Yep.
Seems to me that she's doing some more grooming.
Okay.
She also doesn't seem to really show behaviorally right now that she cares that she's alone.
Yeah.
Which in the past, we would have seen a lot of like digging at the doors.
Okay.
And, focusing over where the boys are and
Sure.
trying to be near them.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of behavior changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
But she definitely, to me, looks...
the other thing I don't
Her
know,
tail is definitely
and
wider.
I meant to look into it the other day, is if it is a suit.
So I think we have a little more time than
Right.
this weekend.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm not too.
And she
concerned.
doesn't, to me, she's not showing any imminent signs. I think if she were real close, she'd be sticking.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
She
I
would-
would
yeah.
think she'd be nesting.
Yeah, I mean she's grooming, but she does that all.
I mean, certainly we have 5 otters currently. I can't imagine having 2 or 5 more. So we would have to place them in another facility with a high standard of care, just like we have here.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't be able to release them. That is,
DEC prohibits.
yeah,
that.
our state wildlife agency wouldn't allow us to do that, and there's a lot of reasons for that. When they're born in captivity, it's hard to say what influence, even if they were raised by Scarlett, what influence we had on them. So
Well, yeah, and she's also not a wild otter.
not completely
No,
wild.
she's not
See,
really
I mean,
wild.
we've had her
Either.
since she was very young, so all of those things are a factor. So
Yeah.
I think there are enough facilities like us out there that are looking to add otter ambassadors to their collection that they probably wouldn't be that hard to place, but it's a lot to think about, so we're gonna have to start planning.
Yep.
Yeah, so today Norris is kind of making his public debut, but like debut light. So we're taking him out in front of our staff first That way he can get used to a large crowd of people that we have a little bit more control over. You know, there won't be babies crying or people screaming. So it's a good way to kind of have training wheels on him when he is first in front of a crowd. Here you go. Here you go. So he's gonna come now. Norris, will you station? Good. Walk. Good. Good boy. Pretty. Before we bring out the star of the show, who you can hear is pretty ready, I'll just tell you a little bit about why we're doing this. Number one, wanted people to smile. Number two, wanted everybody to be able to see some of the work we do here. And number three, and kind of my primary reason, Norris the woodchuck is new to doing that. He is finally ready to hopefully make his public debut. Yeah, right? Hi, you wanna come out? Good. So, Norris here is a woodchuck, or a groundhog, or a whistle pig. They have a lot of different names. Oh, you dropped it. He is allowed to do whatever he wants. Will you station now? You have to go over there. You know this. Good. Right? He's really cute. So, they're animals that are prey animals by nature, so they can be a little bit nervous, especially around loud sounds. Hi. How we work with our animals at the Wild Center is we try to do everything force-free and give them as much choice and control as we can. So Norris is wearing a really tiny dog harness. You wanna come check on me? Good boy. And how we get that harness on Norris is I have a bowl identical to this back in his habitat. I ask him to stand up on that bowl on his back legs. Then I offer the harness and he shoves his head through. So Norris knows a few different behaviors. In addition to being harness trained, the very first thing we trained him was to touch this ball on a stick. But most of the time, I'm okay with him just hanging out and wandering around. So he is just about a year old. He was born likely last spring, and in nature, they only live to be out about 3 to 4 years, but under human care can live up to 10. Norris will probably fall somewhere in between that range. So a true hibernation means that you can touch them and they won't move. A hibernating woodchuck, their heart slows down to I think 10 beats per minute. Their whole body just shuts down so that they can kind of conserve energy. Good. And then end in March. And so when Norris didn't hibernate until March, we were like, yeah, he's not gonna hibernate at all. That was the first time he's ever gone anywhere near that rock, was when he went inside and scared himself. So the fact that he went right back a little bit later and immediately went back in and was eating food around it, really great. So Norris did really good, especially considering that we try to be as consistent as we can with training, but I have actually been on my weekend. So this is the first time that Norris had been in the theater for about 4 days straight. And the fact that he immediately came out and was exploring was really, really good. So he did excellent. It's always a little bit of a gamble with animals. You always are playing that balancing act of you want to kind of push boundaries to be moving forward, but you don't want to push them too far. My gut right now is telling me that Norris is ready for his boundaries to be pushed a little bit further. And so I think he'll be meeting the public within a week.
improvise when you're vertically challenged.